I will carry on with that, and then I'll end with my story so that I can stop crying. So I'm Allie. I have been a student of Kate's for, God, why is this so hard already? I've been a student of Kate's for 15 years, and I'll just start with my story about Karen because that'll be easier. I was not a naturally gifted rider. We'll just start with that. I was not. It was lucky that Karen never actually told me to my face that I should maybe try tennis, but she may have said it behind my back and I would not have blamed her. But Karen was very gracious with me. The Cope women took me in, and because I'd always wanted to ride horses. My parents always hoped that it was a phase. It was not, and so when I turned 16, a friend of mine was already a student of Kate's, and she started bringing me to the barn with her. So when I got my own car and could bring myself to the barn, I worked for lessons. I picked weeds for Karen to make gas money to get to the farm to be able to ride. Again, it was a bit of a journey for me. So Karen, being the very patient woman that she was at a horse show where I was in a walk and trot class on a horse named Peepers, who I'm sure many of you know and love. And in my walk and trot class, I spent the entire class cantering tiny circles around the judge with Karen on the rail just yelling obscenities at me. I believe the one that was repeated the most was, "What the hell are you doing?" So I learned a lot from Karen. I learned to kind of grow a bit of a thick skin, but I also learned that it was all out of love, and she meant the best, but did not always mince words. I am lucky enough to have inherited Karen's chickens, so I have 3 of her chickens in my backyard now. And my dear friend Amanda Ebling, who was at the barn with me and is now one of my dear friends, we both took pictures with our Hadley mugs that I also inherited from Karen, and I gave her one of them, so we each have a Hadley mug that was Karen's, and we drank our coffee to Karen the other morning with her chickens. So I'll do my best to get through this. So Amanda said, "I'll start by saying that Karen immediately treated us like family. We were the first family to ride at Lionheart back in 2007, and we were coming 2 hours away from St. Louis. It was always like visiting a close relative. They always called her Auntie Karen, or Aunt Karen. She always spent time with my mom and little sister Lindy while I rode with Kate. She welcomed us into our house after riding for a lovely lunch, knowing we had a long trek ahead of us. Beyond the amazing recipes she'd make, it was always just a wholesome time sitting around and chatting for hours on end. It meant so much to me. When I first started riding with Kate, we had just moved homes and schools, and it was a difficult time for me as a middle school kid. Karen was absolutely my rock. I don't know how I would have fared without her and the horses to look forward to every Saturday. She welcomed us into her world, her family, the barn, the horse show world, and regarded us like family. That's just the kind of person she was. I'll also carry her love of horses with me. Karen was a true horsewoman. When I came to Lionheart with a childlike love of horses, Karen and Karen via Kate gave me a lifelong passion for horses, our partnership with them, and our care of them. I left Lionheart in high school to go to boarding school in Santa Barbara. There weren't any horses around, and I felt it in my soul. I prioritized getting into a college back in horse country and started a polo team there. And when she said she started a polo team, this girl literally took the Washington and Lee Polo Club from 1 horse and I think 5 riders to like 17 horses, and they were competing in nationwide. She created an entire polo program at this school. Even though I thought Karen might shudder at the sight of me on a polo horse with their short necks and tails, her love of horses is still with me today, even in an entirely different discipline. I'm so grateful for the time I got with Karen. Looking back, I wish I had more of it. There's so much you can learn for her. Her impact lives on. And as she said, she is thinking of all of us in this challenging time. And her little sister Lindy also rode with Kate and Karen at Lionheart. And wrote, I first met Karen when I was 5 years old. Spent a lot of time together with my older sister Amanda while she rode with Katie. Karen taught me all about the barn and showed me all the animals. I helped her feed all of the cats, and there were a lot of them. She taught me how to collect eggs from chickens. I could never get the gate open myself, so she always helped me. I remember her making a remark about how the latch was supposed to be raccoon-proof, and apparently Lindy-proof too. Karen introduced me to a silver cat who lived upstairs in the attic of the barn. I distinctly remember her telling me I could never go up that ladder alone because she didn't want me to fall. There were a lot of things I couldn't do at the barn because I was so little. I couldn't carry heavy things or help tack up the horses like my sister could. Karen always found a way to make me feel special and include me. She would find little jobs to do around the barn that made it feel like I was important there. I usually spent the day following her around while she did her chores like a little shadow. As I got a little older, she would let me do them by myself. It was the first time and place I really felt independent and confident. I remember looking through photo books with her and playing in the house. The Copes felt like family to me. I used to sing to all of the animals in the barn. I would visit each horse and chicken and cat because I wanted them to feel special too. Karen always had a lot of patience with me, and she gave me a lot of space to be myself. We only disagreed once when she complained there were too many sparrows in the barn, and I couldn't comprehend how a barn could have too many birds. When we stopped riding at Lionheart, my mom took me to a few different barns. I quit horseback riding soon after. It wasn't the thrill of riding. I wasn't there for the thrill of riding like my sister was. I was at the barn for the animals and the environment and Karen. I was much happier to just be at the barn and explore than to ride. Also, turns out I'm allergic to horses. I didn't know that I was allergic to horses. My favorite childhood memories are at Lionheart. She wishes that she could be here with us today and gives us all hugs. And I will say that Karen and Kate and the Copes, just in general, very much made me who I am today. I was a shockingly shy child. Something about being around these ladies brought that out of me. I went on to do many things in my life that I never imagined that I would have actually done or accomplished. I ate so many more foods than I thought I would have. I tell people that at one point with the Copes, I simply stopped asking what was in the food and just ate it anyway, and it was always good. I thought I didn't like steak growing up until the Copes made me a steak and just waved it in the general direction of the grill. and then I realized, oh, I have been eating overcooked steak. I actually like steak now. But Karen is a huge influence on me and all of the girls that I grew up riding with at the farm. And it's just so cool that she gets to live on through all of the horses and through Lionheart and through all of us. And now